beautiful, beloved Nerika family. Just such a sacredness, a space, and such a warmth. I just received the notification. We are live on Era Light channel, YouTube channel, and Nerika Healing by Era Light on the Facebook. Wherever you feel more comfortable to join us, please join our sacred space and our beautiful new episode of In Oneness with the beautiful Komal all the way from Dehradun, and sharing with her the intense human experience, sharing with us the remembrance into this experience, and sharing with us the magnificence of this experience. I call it our magnificent human experience as the divine conveyed it through me, as we needed to realize and recognize that this human experience, regardless of the suffering, the joys, the blacks and whites, the sadness and the happiness, regardless of all that it brought to us, it's just magnificent because we have chosen to be where we at. We have chosen this physical body, these physical circumstances, this life. It's a choice, and it's by free will that we have chosen to be here. Yes, and it is again a choice. So coming to the point to recognizing that it is magnificent, it is divine, it is all about being here, sharing our light, our presence. And tonight we're gonna remember with Komal Batra all the magnificence she has experienced in this human experience, in this lifetime, or maybe parallel lives, past lives, whatever comes into the surface, that it isn't the highest good, it shall unfold. So, Era Light here for Nerika Healing, and let's journey with Komal on a new episode of In Oneness. Welcome to our space, Komal. Welcome, beautiful sister. Kindly unmute yourself and join me. So humbled and blessed with your presence.
Thank you so much. Namaste. Welcome to everyone who is here. Thank you, Era, for having me here and having me share my wonderful, wonderful journey. As you rightly said, the remembrances from this lifetime, from all the other lifetimes, and from all the other parallel lifetimes. Who knows what is contributing to the joy, to the gratitude, and to all the blessings that are flowing in our life right now? Wonderful moments that I've shared with you, that I've shared with so many delightful light beings like you. Thank you for having me here.
We're actually blessed to be here to witness this unfolding. Honestly, I cry out of the deep gratitude when I feel how powerful at this moment, at this time, for our lives to be alive, to be here, to be witnessing the collective, to be witnessing the change, to be witnessing ourselves, Mother Nature, the connections that we're building at all levels and dimension of our existence. It's all becoming so evident and clear that yes, we are divine being, and we are here to experience all of divinity. Welcome, and we would love to thank our viewers on Facebook. If you have questions throughout the episode, please share it in the comment. I will pass it on to Komal. If you cannot catch the live, can see us on replay here on Facebook and also on YouTube. You are all welcome into our sacred space. This space is entrusted in divine service, and this space, as Nerika Healing, as myself, we are just the vessel for the light to show the way towards oneness, to show the way toward greatness. And each one of us is a beacon of light. It's not about Komal, it's not about Era or the other beautiful beings who had come on this program. It's about every single one of us being here by choice, enjoying a magnificent experience. Just we need to realize that we are blessed to be here. We would love to start with you, beautiful, beautiful sister, a little bit about you and how your journey started and the great transformation.
So I would not say that it started right from the day I was born. Actually, it did start from the day I was born. Like we have learned in our healing journey, nothing is ever disconnected, and everything is a reason as and a leading stepway to where we are today. So I have memories of being a child and having dreams that came true. And I would be fearful of dreaming as a kid because I would see something happen in my dreams, and then it would be like a deja vu experience playing out in my life in a couple of days. And for a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old child, it's not a normal natural phenomena because you think that you are doing it because you dreamed it and that is why it happened. And so, yes, these metaphysical uh, experiences started early in my life. And if I would want to pick up a moment of transformation, I will not be able to pick and choose which one was that particular incident that changed my life completely. It's been a slow and steady shift from an ignorant, um materialistic vision point to an expanded awakening of accepting everything as yours and not having that barrier between me and you. If I was to say something about myself in this moment, I have been on the healing path of self discovery for over 20 years now, slowly and steady understanding where I am. The first time that I got into a metaphysical modality or an energy modality was way back in 2007 or 8 when I did my Reiki Masters. I was blessed and fortunate to learn it from a teacher who comes fifth in lineage from Usui Sensei himself. And that was one of the main turning points of understanding the quantum dynamics and the energy dynamics of manifesting in our life, of protecting yourself, or rather I would say of boosting your own shield, your own aura to a level where you can receive and you can gift with equal nurture.
Mm.
Ab-
The giving can never be happen without the receiving, and especially for an
Absolutely.
worker. Can you elaborate a little bit about that? I love to hear your experience and your perspective about it.
Yes, without giving, you cannot be receiving. Mm, so if I were to pick an incident just for an example, I will come to that moment when I met you for the first time,
Mm,
and we were strangers. I was going through a sensitive moment in my life. And that was the time I was deeply into self discovery. I had just left my work with my father, and I was taking more and more of workshops, receiving more and more of workshops to understand where I was in my journey. Uh, am I still available? I think the screen is frozen. Am I still on? Hello?
I'm back. I'm back.
All
Hello?
right. I was wondering if we were still on.
I was on disconnected and we're back live and we're back here about I missed the point when you spoke about that time when we met and you were in that state of deep self discovery. Hello? 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 Apologies, guys. Some internet connectivity issues, so we will get Komal back into the sacred space shortly. Sometimes things go out of hand, but we know that it is the flow and it is meant to happen all in divine timing. So yes, just stay with us, take a deep breath. Yes, she's here. Yes, Komal, I have you back, and but I can't see your camera.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Yes, I being in this incredible flow of being yourself and being in a space where even the littlest things that you used to agitate a lot, they have become so simple and minor, and I love. I keep always come to this point. I would just remind myself in my head, old era would have been so buzzed up right now and canceled the whole thing. But I am deeply, deeply grateful to these self discoveries that we are talking about, these
Yes.
moments of deep diving that took us into that inner journey and realized how much of light we are. So I'd
Yes.
love to hear more about your self-discovery story. And I know it happened at the same time as mine because we were at the same similar time getting into the healing modalities at that almost same interest as well. It is I love these
Yes.
incidents in life. They never coincidence. They're always some amazing divine play. And look at us meeting again, even though virtually, but after
Virtual.
years, really diving deeper and deeper into self-discovery and be where we meant to be.
Yes, I totally agree with you. So, what I was sharing earlier before we disconnected virtually, uh, I was bringing uh, an incident from when we met for the first time.
Yeah.
It was a time in my life when I was going through a deep purging process where I was coming to witness and accept my own shadows. The fact that I was running from them was staring right in my face.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been mostly a giver until that point, and to receive was a challenge. And my cup was running empty almost. And in that moment when I met you at Rishi's, and I think uh, that was one moment where I could surrender. There was this connection of humanness first that formed between us as strangers in that
Mm-hmm.
same compound, sharing a living space in that same compound between Mother Nature's arms. And I there was something in me that wanted to receive. There was something in me that said, enough, you can let go. There are people around you who are similar to you, who are going on similar journeys, who are experiencing similar kind of pain. And and that is what makes the journey more beautiful. And I remember us holding each other in our arms, and I was crying like a baby. And I think that was one of the moments that deeply touched my life, where I opened up my heart to a stranger in person, but something in me knew the connection deep inside and knew that this is where I can receive from, and receiving is not difficult. You just
Mhm.
have to open your arms and
Allow
let the
yourself
love
to be held.
flow in.
Yes.
Absolutely. And
This
in
sense of
that,
being held is what makes the giving and the
absolutely,
receiving so sacred.
absolutely. And to receive was such a beautiful thing, and there was no effort that was required on my part.
Mhm.
And it started a journey for me. It started a journey for me to receive openly, not with an expectation, not with a boundary, not like, oh, you have to give it to me this way, but being in that moment, acknowledging what I need and allowing it to come the way it wants to, and just being open to it. That is when I learned receiving was as simple as giving. And that's the one moment that makes me still come back to a point here of bringing down my barriers, bringing down my boundaries, not in terms of self care, but bringing down the barriers and boundaries to receive, to allow the love to flow in. Because when we put boundaries, when we put barriers, if we're not conscious about them, we're also stopping the love to flow in.
And
And
I what's just coming through to me right now is the fact that how powerful has your healing work to humanity improved and had become more sacred since you starting to receive.
yes, I cannot agree more with that. When I started to receive, I could empathize more with people around me. I could see uh, that if I needed to give, I have to be coming from an open space of giving and receiving. Because when I'm holding myself back from receiving, there's something that I have to give also stays back. And in that moment, the connection that I started making with people around me, people who were coming to my sessions to receive, or even in my own life and my relationships, it started getting better. I was a better listener. I was a better receiver. And I could understand without people telling me what they needed from me. I could understand, I could perceive it intuitively and bring them something that probably none of us, me sitting on this side and the person receiving on the other side, both of us not knowing what was really needed. But an hour later, when we were coming out of our session, we both were happy and content here of receiving and giving what was meant to flow in that moment,
It is
just by
actually
dropping that barrier.
dropping it completely because when we go into that surrender, more of us comes into alignment to our highest self, to our highest frequency, and the energy that flows through it comes at ease and grace, so that we can give it easily, we can pass it on. And you are just experiencing what I have experienced also throughout my journey of self discovery and remembrance, and like witnessing myself and my healing work and how it improved and had become more of like it in a flow. like the flow is much easier. And with every healing, it is not healing only the other, it is healing me, and it's
Yes.
bringing me and the other person into alignment. And then we come back full circle to in oneness, to become in
Yes.
one with ourselves and with all others and with all of the creation. And
Yes.
I love how this conversation is kind of taking us into this deep gratitude to learn how to receive.
Yes. Yes. Also, yes, perfectly. How to receive and be grateful any which ways. Even when we are giving, even when we are receiving, even if we are stuck in giving or receiving at any moment, gratitude is something that is always present to us. I remember complaining as a child, I don't have this, how can I do that? I don't have this, the other person has that, how can I do if I don't have that? But when I look back now, there is so much gratitude for what I had, because that gave me a different direction from someone I was comparing myself and my available options with. Today, when I see that if I had only that, that is what I was meant to have, because that defined my learning curve, that developed my creative abilities around something that the other person today cannot uh, diversify into in this moment. Having said that, everything is available to all of us to learn at any point of time. And
And we will
and
have just what's needed for us, just what's
absolutely,
needed. Yeah.
absolutely, to have that faith that whatever I need will be available to me when I really need it. You see, we always want more than we have. We always desire for something that is there, that is in an unattainable state at every moment. Even in this moment, I want to be better at receiving, better at giving. I want to reach out to so many more people. The desire is there,
Yeah.
the want is there. But coming to my need, I am happy doing this conversation with you and reaching out to the people through you, which gives me immense sense of gratitude, because every little person that we connect to, every small dot that we connect with, makes a huge difference. And we've learned this so well during this pandemic period of lockdown. One tiny little speck has us
Exactly.
running around like crazy, right? So we know the importance that are that one tiny speck. So every insignificant thing is also so powerful. So you and I and every single person that we connect to has more power than anyone else. We are not
And I think,
insignificant in anyone's lives.
yeah, the power, the energy that you give it more power, it's the energy that gonna manifest. So I'll go back to gratitude for a moment.
Yes,
And
yes,
from my experience and the overall, you know, understanding of gratitude, geographically, I was thinking about it the other day. I was at the in Haridwar walking on the banks of Ganga in the night, when all these sellers of the baskets of flowers had prepared all the baskets throughout the night, and they're just sleeping next to their basket. So the morning pujas will start, and people will go for the ritual. So I stood in front of those baskets in deep bow and gratitude to this moment, to that experience. And the only correlation for me was the gratitude that it's connected to the divine. Like, here in
yes,
India, we just take the baskets of flower with the diya and the incense, and we'll just offer it to Ma Ganga, and it flows. And I was like kind of contemplating this whole process, and how in this process of devotion and giving, you are paying gratitude to this energy that's sustaining, that's loving and nurturing.
yes,
So I realized also it is encoded in the culture. So, and kind of
Mhm.
it is in the collective consciousness, this concept of deep gratitude. I'm not saying other people's don't, and it's not what do you call it, kind of applied, or it is the norm. But this act of just preparing the flowers in such a devotion, and be there next to the mother, in that powerful energy, and just offering, there's such a devotion to the sacredness, to the divine, through this act.
Yes.
And it is from our understanding of deep gratitude. So this was kind of, it's, come on, also bringing to me to that same exact point that we started with, the giving and the
And
receiving, that it
receiving.
is so sacred.
Yes.
And
And it all
it
flows from the
requires our
heart.
acknowledgement. Yeah, it just requires our acknowledgement of it.
Yes. Yes. A simple yes to everything that is coming. And and the heart, I've noticed the more I surrender, the more my heart opens up. There may be butterflies in my stomach due to nervousness, due to the doubt that shows up on self, or even sometimes, when you ask someone to show up for you, there are these tiny moments when you're surrounded by a lot of things, you're like, oh my god, will that happen? And then something inside your heart says, hey, it will, just trust.
With
And if and it does, even if it doesn't show up the way I want to, like this little glitch in the internet connection happened. You and we were like, okay, we'll come back to it. So if it's meant
yeah.
to go out, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen any which ways, the way it is divinely orchestrated, the way yours and mine energy will flow. Whatever we may plan to bring out will not happen. What will happen is what will flow, and all will be for good.
It has been like this, Komal. Today marks our
Yes.
15th episodes on season two.
Wonderful.
Altogether, we've done 29 episodes of In Oneness. They are
Mm.
all available on Facebook page. They are available on YouTube, and soon they're going to be available as audio podcast on Spotify. So
Oh,
as much
wonderful.
of love and light we spread, we will, and it is all in divine service. You,
Yes.
as everybody knows, all Nerika's programming are either by donation base, or they are free of charges. It's just
Yes.
the message and the energy to give, because we are receiving, like whether myself or the Nerika family and the facilitator who work with me on any program, we are receiving this divine energy.
Yes.
We
Yes. I
are
I
responsible to
totally
give it.
resonate. Yes,
We
I
This is
totally
again
resonate with what you're saying.
back to the receiving and giving. And for us, the receiving, it's happening not only from the others who are giving us and holding us. When we allow it, we are receiving from our highest self, because we reached a point of this journey of self-discovery and remembrance, that we came into alignment and connection. And when we build this connection, and each one of you can, it brings deep a sense of a presence and mission and dedication, and the guidance is there, and the
Yes.
receiving is happening.
Yes, and there's immense trust that flows through you. There's immense trust on who you are. There's an immense trust in what you don't know. Knowing still that whatever has to happen will happen. And the pieces of the puzzle just start fitting. It's exactly like a puzzle box. When we open it, there's this chaos, there's this random pieces, which when we look at, we don't know how they're going to gel or where which one I need to put. But from anywhere, when you start connected one piece by one piece by one piece, the picture starts to become clear on its own. And then you just know that I will find the next piece and it will fit somewhere or the other. The way,
Mhm.
the more and more we acknowledge the work we've done with ourselves, it could be a simple breath practice, it could be a simple gratitude practice, it could be a simple um, karmic practice. In the sense, it could be a karma yoga, even if we are devoted to the work that we are doing. If we are working somewhere, and if you're working honestly and we're putting our passion into it, that is as devotional practice as someone who is spiritually devoted to chanting the name of the goddess. And and the whole idea is to raise your vibrations, that essence of divinity that flows in all of us. It's about connecting with it, because it is present, just like you said, it's present in each one of us. All of us can be the most ascended of people ever. You and I can be Krishna, we can be Rama, we can be Shiva. All of us have that capacity. We are the images of God, a likeness. It's only we don't trust ourselves to be that. We are always doubting ourselves. And with this practice of gratitude and with this practice of receiving and opening up to see what is outside of my limited viewpoint, is what takes us there.
Exactly. Exactly. It's we've been in separation for long, and we thought it is the norm, it is the normal, and that's what we think of chaos, that it is the norm. Now recognizing the one within us, recognizing the divine in us, recognizing all that is so new to our young self, young in a sense of expansion self, or kind of in this journey. uh, it might take a lot of compassion toward ourselves to allow this journey to unfold, because as you said, a lot will come, fear will come, doubt will come, and they're going to be butterfly dances in the stomach. But just stay with the heart, because this whole journey of self-discovery was to travel from the mind into the heart and reside there, so that we can tap into this Krishna consciousness, to the Rama consciousness, and we connect through this frequency and live it and become this embodiment.
Yes, yes. And I think this is what brought me um, to sound as a frequency. uh, I was going through a changing phase in my life, and it was the sound of Mother Ganga. So after you guys left from the last time or the first time we met, I happened to be by the Ganga. In fact, if you remember, we chanted the Shiva mantra, sitting with our feet dipped in the Gangas for your grandmother, I think. And
Actually, it was the passing of my grandmother.
yes, and after that, I happened to be sitting right next to the Ganga again, and just that sound of the water was bringing joy to me, was bringing this this peace to my heart. Even though I felt sad in my mind, in my head, I wanted to believe that I am sad, I wanted to hold on to my sadness, and yet the sound of the water was making me smile, and was making my heart expand. My body felt light. And this is where I was like, the sound is creating something in me. And it brought me to another memory of a sound session. It was basically a healing session that I had received from someone, where singing bowls were being used. And in that moment, I didn't realize that it was the sound of the singing bowls that helped me connect to my essence deeply during that meditative session. And I, I think that was the memory. And then the river. And what I get to see 2 days later is someone advertising about a sound teaching class, like a teacher was giving a workshop on singing bowls and how to use them for therapeutic and healing purposes and meditative purposes. So the synchronicity, the minute we allow ourselves to receive from the divine, it starts to fall into step. One piece starts to connect with the other, just like a puzzle. And when the workshop showed up, I was intrigued. I Googled what it was, and I ended up signing up for that class. And that was in 2017. That was exactly, I think, when we met. We met in March, and in April end, I had registered for this workshop already.
It's
And
almost the same time when I started my sound healing journey as well.
absolutely, absolutely. Because I remember then seeing a picture of you and singing bowls somewhere in Rishikesh, and I was like, "Oh
Actually,
wow, this is how singing bowls and sound through instruments started showing up."
it's actually exactly at the same time, because I recall I finished my course and then we went to Rishi's. It was just after my
Yes,
course has all finished.
yes. But you and I did not get to speak about it. I
Exactly.
remember. I remember we were there. We shared a dinner, and then we did a morning. Again, I think Ram led a sound practice. I think the
Yeah,
electricity is
yeah,
gone
on
here.
harmonium. What we still see your
Yes.
light.
So
We
yes.
are just in the flow. That's why the light comes, the light goes. But the flow of love and giving and receiving, it's never fading. So we are in this flow. Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
It seemed that the guidance was coming through, and through your open heart and willingness, and that knowing inside of you, you have exercised your free will and your sovereignty, and you've taken steps toward that. It's so beautiful to see this unfolding and to hear your story, which is what's happening at the parallel time with mine. Fascinating.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So herein lies the trust in receiving. Herein lies opening up and opening your eyes to what is available, what is showing up by the divine. Because sometimes, like I said, sometimes we want to do something, but we are not seeing on how many different ways that can be done.
Okay, I see you changed location. uh
Yeah,
I
so
have
I
you.
think
Yeah.
my system.
Yes, yes. Perfect. But I still see your old screen, older one was still on, or maybe the camera is off or on.
Let me check because I will have an issue with
Oh,
the internet connection.
no problem. I can. Yes, yes, we're done. I done it from my side.
Right.
No problem.
Wonderful.
Isn't it that the flow? Oh, what a beautiful picture of you in front this magnificent gong. Wow,
Thank
superb.
you. Thank you so much.
We're gonna get to there about your offerings and how we can connect with you and take this journey deeper and deeper with you.
Yes, absolutely. It would be completely my honor to do what I can and keep sharing. The whole idea is to keep giving and giving and giving, because what flows by giving, you can nothing matches with the joy it brings.
Yeah, because it makes you a better giver, an unconditional giver, like
Yes,
with
absolutely.
passion, like enjoy, gratitude, because it comes encoded with so much of other positive emotions, like conscious expansion experiences and the frequency that you share through your giving, it is coming from that highest frequency that it's giving you.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I couldn't disagree to anything that you said. Absolutely. Absolutely.
so you started off with the sound healing, with singing bowls, and it just expanded from there.
Yes. Yes. Um, like I said, sound was that was the time that sound.
You're muted accidentally.
I just couldn't deny that connection today. That is what deeply connects me to my own healing space, and that is what also allows me with the opportunity to share with everyone who crosses my path. And today I facilitate sessions using singing bowls, using the gongs, even the sound of our own voices, the mantra chanting, the different aspects of Nada Yoga. Uh, who knew this was my path? I did not know that. I was with my father in his business and selling medicines and making a completely different uh, field in terms of the practical aspect of it. But if
Mm,
we come to the essence, I was making medicines and selling medicines back then, and this is the holistic medicine that has called me and given me the opportunity to work at a deeper level of natural healing, and the way we connect more with our hearts and not with just popping pills for getting ourselves happier.
yeah, we are just going to the depth of the experience through healing, and that's exactly what Nerika stands for, providing the healing to experience your existence at all multidimensional levels. Because the also the perception of healing or the understanding of healing was based on there's something wrong with me, I need to fix it. And I get that a lot from people who approach me, like something wrong with me, and something, like there's always something wrong that need to be fixed. But in fact, when you start onto your inner discovery journey of healing, you are just remembering and you are just experiencing yourself with the much more awareness of the self. So
Yeah.
yeah, actually, it struck me that you started your journey as selling medicine, and you are continuing with the medicine, which is much more holistic. I was just kind of inside of me, there's this laugh that came through. It's like, you've received your mission in life, but you probably haven't heard the full story. Like you said, you heard medicine, and then you jumped into what's the first thing medicine is understood for. Oh.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'll give you a little secret. Um, uh, I wanted to be a doctor since I knew I am alive. Like if
Mm,
I was a kid, I was a small kid, I wasn't even in school, so I was like a year and a half, and that's when my brother was born, and I would hold on to the doctor's coat, the gynecologist's coat, and have a stethoscope in my ears, and I would go behind her, walking with her, taking rounds in the hospital, checking the patients that she was checking. So the doctor was my favorite doctor in the whole wide world for the longest time. And as a child, I wanted to be a doctor. I took up science. I wanted to give the medical exam. But who knew? I had to be a doctor, but a doctor that does not need a degree to be a doctor.
you need to have an open heart.
Absolutely.
Yes, you need to have a biggest heart full of compassion and empathy. And
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
The mission was, I think, like you said it, the mission was always there. It's just that uh, the direction had to be aligned a little more to what the divine wanted.
Exactly. Actually, also, I don't think it's coincidence. You had to experience both to be where you're at. Like every single experience is catered to bring us to this point, and
Yeah,
of our expansion and evolution as souls, as beings here on on an experience. Yeah,
absolutely.
that's super fascinating. I love these stories.
Yes, and this is what remind me of yet another um, story, I would say, that completely transformed me. So, like I said, from childhood, I had these metaphysical incidences. Right until now, I keep still having them. But I wasn't really paying attention to them full time. Like I was treating them like a hobby or something that I could amateurishly do and keep doing everything else on the side. It was it was this experience of me really questioning, why am I doing this and why is this happening? So I was in Milan for almost a year. I left my father's business of making medicines and I wanted to get into fashion business and brand management, knowing that, okay, let's just get into, I want to make people's life better. So if I can't do it, I don't want to be in the business of selling medicines. What is it that I can do? So hey, let's get into the art of clothing. And uh, there was this. I had no idea how how challenging that would be, because when you get into the fashion industry to learn something about it, there are so many things that you witness that you don't see from the outside as a consumer. When you're in the industry, you see animals are being farmed, and literally 500 or 800 of these crocodiles are being farmed just to be butchered when they're at the ripe age and turned into bags and belts and shoes for us as consumers. And that was a very depressing side of the fashion industry that I saw. It's like only when you enter a space that you know what is inside it. From the outside everything is pretty, but it's from the inside that you really get to know what is worth it or not. And I was disappointed. I had put my life's earnings into that course. My bank account was dry when I left India to do that course. And 1 year later, I was standing in the middle of nowhere with all my money gone into a course that I did not want to turn into a career anymore. It would bring me money and I had to choose in that moment whether I want to sell what will consciously kill me. And I am sure that after 2 years, I will give up on these jobs. Will I even spend this money on myself to make myself happy when I'm consciously aware of how much sacrifice, of how much pain all the life on earth is going through? For what? What means to an end? And this was the time I came back to India. That was 2015. And then this workshop showed up in New Delhi, and it was about shamanic wisdom. And something about Mother Earth
Mm,
was what had pulled me away from the fashion industry, because it was killing animals and it was all those chemicals that we use to make fabrics and mass production of stuff that we don't need, which is actually killing uh, the sacred consciousness that we stand and live upon. That was my true turnover. That was my true turnover from having these metaphysical uh, experiences amalgamate with my human experiences and really question me in my face. How long do you want to pretend that this is not what needs to be taken care of? How long do you want to pretend that you are wanting to live a normal life where you want to earn and you want to go back home and do whatever, but not face the light that is wanting to force itself out of you? Why are you doing this? Why did you go and spend that money there? Why did you take up a loan? All of these questions. and then you're not pursuing it. Are you mad? Are you crazy? Like you're not some loaded person who can give that amount of money away to a passion that you thought was your career and be nowhere. This was one point
Your,
that broke my
your
heart open.
awakening,
Yes,
your
yes,
awakening had to be that expensive.
absolutely,
If
because
you
I
look
was
at it,
running
it's
away
just
from it.
that year that needed to awaken you. Even that, all that loss on the financial part, all that time, and it's well worth it to this voice of consciousness inside of
Absolutely,
you, because there is no
absolutely.
going back.
There is no going back, and this is where I was saying the gratitude for each experience, right from my childhood to comparing with someone, and then this experience when I left everything, spent every last money in my pocket to choose a career that was not my calling. But how did I arrive at it? By being there, by living that experience. And and oh my god, that is the
Mhm.
most wonderful time also in my year. I made friends and I received so much love. And whatever I experienced there was the foundation for what I am today and who I am today. Had I not done that, had I not experienced that,
You
and
wouldn't
not
be
just in the
here.
fact that
You
I
wouldn't be.
wouldn't be, because those experiences are what drove the question home. That was the last nail in my sleeping ignorant coffin. It was like that wake up call. Hey, you need to wake up now. And I
Because
can't
the
be more
time to wake up is here.
absolutely
We
here
were
and now.
prepared. I feel like 5 years, five between the past 5 years, some people 8 years, some people take it since been with them for the past 12 years. We have been prepared to be where we at right now, especially this past year of 2020 that came with the greatest shifts of energy. If we weren't prepared through our own orchestrated scenarios that were so divinely sacred at the moment of choosing this experience, we wouldn't be here. Everything is just happening for its perfect divine timing. We were prepared to go through all these shakes, and it's just brings deep, deep sense of gratitude to every experience. You're absolutely right on this.
Yes, absolutely. And this is why synchronicity is is of so much meaning to me, because when you open up, when you start looking, you find less and less to complain. You find more and more to be grateful of. You know that if you are seeing it, the answer's already in front of you. Yes, at the same time, I am a human and I'm a human that is learning. I still make mistakes. I still end up being angry for some silly thing at some point. And the beauty is that I observe it. I witness it right there and then, that hey, okay, this is what I need to see. If this is showing up, what is it teaching me? Instead of brooding over it earlier, today it's easier to look at it and ask it, hey,
To
what do
look
you
at.
need? Yes, what do you need? Why are you showing up? What is it that you want from me? What can I do with, with this? What can I offer you?
With
Thank
you
you for
as an experience. Exactly. There's this with this expansion and awakening, the shift that happened to our consciousness, it is beyond measures, and I think what's coming, it's gonna be even more empowering for us in this human experience and in our journey. We're becoming more and more witnesses.
yes.
So when we
I-
see emotion, we are honoring this time to sit with it, regardless what kind of emotion is surfacing. We're reaching this ability to be more compassionate with ourselves, and allow ourselves to be witnesses, because we were always afraid of receiving from the other, you know, or even from ourselves. When we sit with the situation and we're just witness it, we are allowing the receiving to come to us. We're allowing this situation to give us back. So we are receiving the nudges, we're receiving the messages, we're receiving the healing. Yeah, it's just bringing into us this witness.
Yes, I can't agree with you more. Uh, it's about it's about allowing it and accepting where you are and allowing what is showing up, whether it is as a shadow that is trying to come forward and show itself to you, or whether it is the love that is coming from outside in whatever way, shape, or form it wants to come to you. Having less of an expected result attached to it, but more of whatever is coming, I know I deserve good. And so it is going to be the best thing that comes to me. Removing those doubts of, oh, if I don't control it, if I don't do it, then it's not going to be good. Leaving that more and more to to the divine flow, because we are doing our best, and that is all we need to do. I need to just give myself completely, like you said, from the heart, devotion flowing in whatever you're doing, bringing your example of the women and men sitting by the Ganga with those tiny baskets of flowers and offering their full devotion into making those baskets every evening around 3 to 4 in the afternoon, and starting to sell them to whoever's coming in that area. That act of devotion, of surrender, of not considering what I'm doing uh, has a subliminal value or a deeper value, but whatever it is, I am doing it from my heart. And when you and I, we
The
buy those
passion, the
baskets, yes, the whole passion. And when you and I, we buy those baskets, those tiny little things become our offering of gratitude. And there is so much of gratitude that we have for those sweet people who are doing this day in and day out for us to make our prayers more meaningful for us. Because in that act of us offering the flowers to Mother Ganga, that is our way of sending our prayers to her, our way of thanking her. So those people are beautiful, beautiful gods and goddesses themselves, allowing that for us, and all from passion and
this is
devotion.
so this is the whole beautiful expansion that's happening, and it's becoming more evident because we are more aware of it. We are witnessing it happening and unfolding, and we are allowing to just ourselves to flow with this flow of life, like Ma Ganga flows across India, and nourishing and nurturing everything on the way. So this is who we are, because we are energy, and energy flows. And let's allow it to flow from the heart full of compassion and joy and devotion and gratitude.
I couldn't agree more with you. I mean, the words that are flowing out of your mouth are exactly how I feel in my heart about it. We cannot voice uh, ourselves enough in saying how deep and how profound the practice of surrender is, of allowance is, and of gratitude is. Without gratitude, without that mindful space of awareness,
Exactly.
we we stand sleeping, I would say, ready to
Mm.
wake up. But the minute we
And
start to surrender, the minute we say it's I am okay with where I am, because I know I am inching, running, galloping at whatever pace that I am still waking up. I am still getting there. It's always it's always a step moving forward. Otherwise, what would we be doing here right now?
Exactly. We are here to remember our magnificence. Remembrance is awakening the mass. The more we remember who we are, the more we acknowledge it, the more we give it love from the heart, the more we are expanding as collective, along with the expansion and the shift that's happening and the ascension of Mother Earth. It's an invitation on tonight, the 3-3 portal, to tap into the power of Trinity, the power of the heart, the threefolded flames that is anchored in the heart, the power of the divine masculine, divine feminine in union at the heart, in the power of the Father, Mother, and the Holy Spirit, in the power of this aspects of us that it's representing, this power of three, connecting our body, minds, and soul, and become into alignment and in oneness. I can't thank you enough, beautiful Komal, and such a blessing of you sharing your story in our space. Welcome again, and thank you so much. This space is always grateful for your presence, and we would love to collaborate more and more with you.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure to hold hands, to hug out through this conversation to each and every one of us who are present here. It's from having conversations of similar nature, who is on a journey that is similar to yours or even different, I say. But if that passion, if that hope, if that ignition of keeping on this journey, keep going on this journey is common between us, it is it is like it is like being in that same cocoon. It's like being siblings of the mother and sharing the same love and joy, and doing what we can for our siblings. It's the love that is uncomparable to anything else.
Absolutely.
It's my honor to be here with you all the time, that you and I can make it happen for us and for everyone who chooses to be here.
Exactly. And we say thank you for the viewers who were joining us in the live, and the ones who will come and watch later or connect with Komal directly on her Kairos Consciousness page, and finding her on her Instagram and Facebook page. Komal, thank you very much. Our Nerika family, thank you very much. We will meet again next Wednesday with a new episode of In Oneness with a beautiful guest sharing another magnificent human experience. I here also extend my invite to all of you who would love to come forth and share with us, as this sacred space is open, like my heart and her heart and the heart of the universe. Thank you, everybody, and namaste. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Namaste.